Hello, Blood Bowl fans. I went back and forth on this one because I did say that no matter what happened in the game, I was going to show the game that was voted for. And the game that was voted for was the Luck of the Dice game against fallenglory. And that is the game I'm about to show you. However, I wasn't really in the mood to play this game when I played this game, so I'm not playing as I normally would. In fact, I wasn't playing well at all, I was playing kind of stupidly. So, I'm going to stick to my original promise, but to be honest, I would have been better off recording a different game. But anyway, here we go. Fallenglory Spirits United, the human team, take on my Chaos Dwarfs, the Labyrinthians. The human teams are singing Roar Like a Tiger. I could have gone for Eye of the Tiger, but never mind. I don't know why, the uniform kind of reminds me of a tiger, what can I say? And the Labyrinthians are singing, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is going to be the last game in the season. I kind of knew it before I even started the game. I had to win this game in order to advance, and truth be told, I needed less games, so I'm kind of happy I'm not advancing. I needed to win the game, and there needed to be 3 other specific results in the table in order for me to advance. And one of the games hasn't actually been played yet, so there's a tiny chance I'm still in, I guess, actually. Anyway, we're looking at the wrong team, so let's switch to the Dwarfs. This is my first recording in a while as well, which obviously you guys don't know, but I'm doing this before I've done the other videos this week. And it's been a combination of I haven't had time and I haven't really been in the mood to do this, so that's why, well, the content has dropped because of no time, honestly. That's really been the reason, but over the weekend and over the last week I haven't really wanted to record, to be honest. Wanting something fresh, I guess. But anyway, here we go. The game of Fallenglory is almost always a pleasure. Even this game was a pleasure, but I kind of wish we'd been playing a different game during this one. That was all. Anyway, kickoff from the Chaos Dwarfs. I chose to kick, and the humans can now have their offensive. And it's really sunny, and I really don't like the way the graphics deal with really sunny. It kind of looks like there's something wrong with my computer whenever this is happening. And I need to remind myself that it's because of this. Anyway, so I've gone for a relatively standard setup in defense, trying to stop Fallenglory from getting through any obvious gaps, and Fallenglory's gone for a pretty line-heavy setup. Quite aggressive for humans, especially against Chaos Dwarfs, but we'll see what he does with that situation. I forgot to do a introduction to all the games as well. I did want to do it, but I didn't get around to it in the end, so I've gone straight into this game. I will show all 3 results at the end of the game itself, though. And if I remember rightly, he has an agility plus blitzer. Yes, he does. There we go. This piece is kind of annoying and pretty difficult to deal with for my team. I don't really have an answer for it. I kind of have to hope to do some injuries. Cause some injuries during this match. And I've opted to be pretty damn aggressive in this opening turn, sorry, and I'm not really sure why. Well, I do know why, it's because I'm not playing my usual game, but yes, I've gone for a very aggressive stance against the humans, and I've even taken a 1 die here. Oh no, I have guard, okay. I didn't blitz with the Minotaur, which is interesting. I'm going to block the Minotaur, and I'm using a wild animal. There we go. You actually get a +2 regardless of blitzing or not blitzing, so long as the wild animal character is punching something, you get a better chance of rolling the wild animal success. Yeah, I've kind of given up the first score already by flatlining against Fallenglory because his team is much more maneuverable than mine, so it was a really bad idea to go for a full lineup. I'm trying to do damage, that's the That's the logic behind the move, I guess, but it's not the best thing to do against a team that's faster than you. You need more in support than the one piece. Well, I do have a couple of turns to fix it, to be fair, and I guess that was a misclick. I can't see him doing that on purpose, to be honest, at this stage. No, I don't remember. Especially with a guard piece, that's bad news when your guard piece is down. Even with block. I don't know, could have been a moment of madness from Fallenglory as well. They have been known to happen, as you'll see in the majority of the games we played together. This was actually, I think, the first game where we didn't voice as well. Neither of us are really in the mood to do the voicing thing, or even play it live, so we basically just chatted. It was nice actually, there was no pressure on either of us, so it was nice to play with Fallenglory this way, because often the two of us are watched, and it can get quite stressful at times. Oops. Yeah, Fallenglory kind of made a mistake here by leaving a half cage at the back that I can get to quite easily, though I would have been better off just taking the blitz before I tried to do the GFI, to be honest. It was a safer play, the GFI could have come afterwards. But I have locked up the ball relatively well, but he does have agility 4, so we can dodge out of that quite easily. Though the problem that Fallenglory has is the only place he can really dodge out to is into getting the ball into more tackle zones over here. Well, or going kind of this way, but it only puts him here, so I have definitely slowed down his advance by locking him up, but I have way too many pieces up front, that's the problem. He can get out of this too easily, which he of course does. And if he hands it off to the catcher, sensible, and the catcher manages to get away, then I can't really do much to catch him. And that is of course exactly what he does. And he's taking the 2 GFIs because it's forcing my Bull Centaur to GFI to get to him. Which is relatively likely, especially with the extra pieces to knock out the blitzer. But he's making it as hard as possible. Oh, and he's failed GFI. Reroll. Oh, Snake Eyes. Oh, that's really bad news for Fallenglory. That gets both of my Bull Centaurs out relatively easily. Though I only need to get this one out. It doesn't get this one out relatively easily at all, what am I talking about? But I only need to get this one out anyway, he's enough. As long as I don't roll a double 1 myself, I should be able to get the ball down. Or at least locked up. And there's the double 1. Well, there we go then. Nuffle has evened the score. We had a Snake Eyes from Fallenglory, followed by a Snake Eyes from myself, leading to Fallenglory's stall, actually. I was going to say score, but it would have been pretty silly for him to score right then and there. Well, his Ogre is having a very good game. He's only boneheaded once, I think. But he's been activated every turn. I will say that out of the 6 games I've played this week, the last game is tonight, this was the worst game I played, by far. So it's kind of obscure to me that I'm recording this game as opposed to any of the others. Though to be honest, every game I've played has been kind of not really what I wanted to play this week, so there is that. Oh, fail dodge. We're not rerolling, which is not such a bad idea because I can't get to the ball where I am. I can only force him to score, which I'm going to do, of course. Because he doesn't have an option to stall anymore, and he can't put the Bull Centaur down. I'm even going to GFI to make it even easier to get to him. I don't think I need to, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I did. He could have potentially stalled if I didn't take that GFI then. Of course, if I hit the ground, he could have easily stalled. First blood. Oh, it's just done. For a matchup between humans and Chaos Dwarves, this is a relatively friendly game so far. He says and immediately causes a KO. But still, even a KO is not so bad, really. It's been a very friendly game for the two of us. And I fail my own dodge, and I'm not going to reroll that either. So, there we go. Enough of us being pretty even in the screwing us over stage of this game so far. Fallenglory makes a mistake, and then immediately I make the same one. Oops, double skulls. That's a reroll. So I've probably got a double skulls coming, judging by the pattern of this game so far. And nice little dance from the catcher that was a bit clippy in animation, which was interesting. And Fallenglory goes 1-0. Fair enough. Well done, Lincoln. Well done. We don't need to see the cheerleaders. So, one knockout, but there is a bench on the human side. He stays knocked out, but the replacement player comes on, of course, and the Chaos Dwarf teams is still with 13 men, no injuries. Our Hobgoblins are doing well so far. Fallenglory is taking a few decisions as to what he wants to do with his positioning, and he's finally decided. He is, of course, on defense, and he's not very used to playing Chaos Dwarves, so this is something that's quite new to him, I think. He's not really sure what the main threat is. And I can tell you, when you're playing against Chaos Dwarves, the main threat, to be honest, are the Hobgoblins, because they're the ones who are most likely holding the ball. The Bull Centaurs, some people do use them as ball carriers, but the majority of coaches who are relatively sensible use the Bull Centaurs as defensive pieces, mostly. So the Hobgoblins are always the biggest worry. And I'm actually going to use the Minotaur as as the wedge in the team. He's going to try and make a gap, whereas the Bull is going to run with him. That's going to be the idea. The Minotaur is going to be the main defensive piece on the ball. And the two Bull Centaurs are going to stay in the center for now, trying to do maximum damage on that line. I want to knock out all three linemen, realistically. Not realistically, ideally. Realistically, I want to knock out one. I'm going to move the Chaos Dwarf away from the ball, because I don't want him to have the ball. So I'm quite glad that we have a quick snap here. I am hoping that the ball either scatters here specifically, or it goes into a touchback position. Of course, if it goes into a touchback position, I think my best option is actually the Minotaur, as I have 4 turns. And it does go into touchback. And I do move the ball to the Minotaur. Now, the reason why the Minotaur is a good idea is because they need to use 3 humans at least to take him down. And Fallenglory is more than willing to use 1 or 2, to be honest. He can take a 1 die, or he can take a half die against the Minotaur quite happily, but... well, so long as I keep the Minotaur with at least 1 support piece, it's going to be very difficult for Fallenglory to get him down. And I can use my Blitz to move the ball forward. But for now, though, I'm going to keep the ball here, because I've got a couple of turns to get him up. Up the field, I mean. The only one I've got to worry about is the Ogre. I've got to hope the Ogre boneheads at least once, because he's going to be a big problem for the Minotaur otherwise. So basically, if the Ogre boneheads once, at least... I was about to say there's my double skull, but it's not. If he boneheads at least once, then the Minotaur should have no problem getting up the field. I ideally need him to bonehead this turn. I didn't move the Minotaur, interesting. I would have been better off putting him here, just because, well, we can get a piece onto the Minotaur at the moment to slow him down. So I would have been better off putting him in the small gap here, don't know why I didn't. That's not a great roll, but Fallenglory doesn't need to re-roll it. And that's not a bonehead from the Ogre, that's a real shame. That means I gotta go this way. And this way is not fun. Well, the other option, of course, is to hand off the ball from the Minotaur. It's not the worst idea in the world, but... And I'm better off trying to punch a gap, I think. And looks like I'm actually going to try and get the ball over here. By the way, I'm taking blocks at the moment. So I am going to take the not worst idea, but not best idea in the world approach instead. Yeah, I'm definitely putting the ball over here, it's quite clear. Here we go. Oh, actually blitzing through. Again, just trying to keep away from the ogre. And there's first blood. Badly hurt, not so bad, and the ball goes as far as it possibly can. Still need the ogre to bonehead. Realistically, I should be locking up the ogre with this Chaos Dwarf as well. I don't think I did though. In fact, I'm sure I didn't, but that would have been a good play. Yeah. Really should have put the dwarf here. Well, it's a wrestle, that's not so bad. This guy can come, I think, here. But I've put him in between the two. Yeah. I've put all my eggs in one basket here, just hoping that the ogre completely fucks up, but yeah, that's bad play really. The ogre only needs a 2 to move, and he can actually blitz the Minotaur from where he is, so we can get a pretty decent 1 die. We can even get a 2 die on the Minotaur with the help of the catcher, which it looks like Fallenglory is going to do. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's bad play from me. Hopefully the ball scatters well though. It's not bad. I've only got 2 turns to move it though, which isn't really enough. I need to use this piece. Well, all this piece, it's equal chance actually. I need to use one of the 2 goblins, of course, to get the ball out now. Or maybe give it to a bull centaur. But there's too many pieces on defense. It's a troubling position to be in, my bull carrier on the floor at this stage. And he's gone straight for a pickup, which is brave. And it is the agility piece, so that's fair enough. But I can get a good block on this agility piece now, and hopefully not come out of the game. And there's my double skull that we've been waiting for. We're getting the same bad luck, but I think I'm getting it at slightly worse times than Fallenglory. But that's the game. It's not a bad scatter. That doesn't get the blitzer out at all. And then we have another bad set of blocks for Fallenglory, but it doesn't really affect the game at this point. So I'm just going to take a couple of blocks, hope to do a little bit of damage. I wouldn't be surprised if the Minotaur hits this guy. And gets Skull 2 down, the same. So Nuffle is still doing this thing where he gives us both the same result. And that's half time, 1-0 to the humans. One injury for the humans, of course, and the KO still doesn't come back. It's pretty bad news. That leaves Fallenglory a man down. And Chaos Dwarfs still have 13 pieces. It's my offensive drive now, so I should realistically be able to score here, at least get us to a draw. But I will say that this was the point where I was really kind of sick of this game, so I'm going to do some crazy things this half, I guess. To be honest, I don't remember this game. It's been well over a week since I played it. Not over a week. It's been about a week since I played it, I should say. So I don't really remember it. But, yeah, let's see what happens here. Well, the humans get a blitz. That's a good start for Fawn. That's an awful start for me. And that ogre having block is really bad news, because it makes him pretty damn invincible. If there's a big guy that can really benefit from block, it's definitely the human ogre. I guess the Minotaur as well, actually, is a good candidate for block. This blitz is really bad news. It's putting a lot of pressure on the ball. And to be honest, there's nowhere really to put the ball. That's the biggest issue at the moment. The only thing I can do is pick up and try and get the ball over here somewhere. So I'm probably going to use the Minotaur again as the ball carrier, no? And it looks like I am. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Fail pass is no good. Have to reroll. Inaccurate is fine, but fail pass is awful. And a double one. So that's the worst possible result. And that's going to cost me the game. Yeah, I remember that when we were playing the game, actually, Fallenglory said the blitz was awful, and I was thinking, yeah, it's not that bad, worse things can happen. But when I look back at it, yeah, it was quite an unfortunate thing to happen, actually. Though I could have set up better for an anti-blitz, which I didn't do, so there is that. And the Hobgoblin being stunned is just the icing on the cake, basically, for Fallenglory. That's guaranteed 2-1 for him now, 2-0 for him, sorry. Basically. I think this Hobgoblin can get there, but he has to GFI and he has to take a half-die block. And there's the returned injury. Hairy Skulls has a niggle. Hairy Skulls is missed next game because of Apo Magic. And another double skulls. Oh. Whoa, double skull and injury. That's pretty harsh for Fallenglory, and that's both Apothecaries gone now. That leads to a no casualty. Which is really good news because Fallenglory is going to score quickly and get that piece back immediately. Stuns don't help me now. I need perma injuries or nothing. I can bring the Bull Centaur and the Minotaur back so long as nothing goes horribly wrong. But I don't think I can actually stop the ball. Why did I use the Hobgoblin? To get it. Ah, I see. I'm trying to get a 2-die on the ball here from the Bull Centaur, I guess, but yeah, that was unnecessary, to be honest. Push is not good enough. That's going to be good enough for Fallenglory to score this turn. We'll try and move the Minotaur as well, probably around here. After we take a block. Yes, we will. We even double GFI it. There we go. It's just making it very difficult for the ball to get out, but certainly not impossible. And we take a skull for good measure on the last action. Wasn't important though, don't mind that skull at all. Another bonehead from Human Ogre, who was having such a good first half, but the second half not so much. And looks like we're going to try a pass play, which is sensible actually. It was the best play, and it worked. He needed a 6 for that though, and he got it without even having to reroll, I think. I'll check in a second. And that's 2-0 to Fallenglory. And Lincoln scored again. Well done, Lincoln. You're having a good game. Injury stays injured. The KO comes back finally, so we're back up to 11 against 11. And one of my dwarfs is out, so I now have 3 goblins on the field. And yes, he didn't need the reroll, it was just an automatic 6. Why play well when you can roll well, hey? All due credit to Fallenglory, he played this game very well. I'm just joking. Another reroll for the humans, and another touchback for the Chaos Dwarfs. And another ball to the Minotaur. The Minotaur is the ball carrier this game. I don't know what to say really. I mean, I've just used him very much as the ball carrier, and he's going to go straight for the touchdown line this time round. The only problem with the Minotaur being the ball carrier is that I need the Ogre to fail. That's the downside of Minotaur ball carrier. If the Ogre fails, it's perfect. If the Ogre succeeds, then Minotaur ball carrier is a problem. So Minotaur ball carrier is actually better when your opponent doesn't have a big guy. I'm going to knock this piece out, hopefully. No? Why not? I don't know. Oh dear. Well, that causes all kinds of problems. On the plus side, it would have been a double skull, which would have freed up this piece, so glad I didn't do that now. But sensible play would have been to knock out this player with the bull centaur. Don't know why I didn't do that. And the Ogre does not bonehead, so we're going to have another block on the bull centaur. He's been aiming for the bull centaurs with the Ogre all game. We're not going to get to the Minotaur this time, though we are going to injure dear old Alieg, who is just badly hurt. That's 2 dwarfs out, putting me down to 11 pieces, which is enough. And that's a reroll gone from the humans, but they still have 2 left. One thing I found in my time with the Chaos Dwarfs, the Minotaur is a bad idea because you can't have free rerolls. Without the Minotaur you can, and it's a much better purchase than the Minotaur. The Minotaur is not really that useful. He's fun though. And he can make a difference at times. He's done quite a lot of damage, to be fair to the Minotaur. He hasn't had a bad season with, as you can see, 13 SPP in 6 games. That's not bad at all. Ooh, a foul. A good foul. Grinch goes bye-bye. Grinch, who already, I think, has a niggle, now also has a minus movement. So that Grinch is gone. I was going to say the Ogre has also had a really good season with 17 SPP in 6 games. So the 2 of us have had really good luck with our big guys. He says the GFI fails as the Minotaur. I'm not even sure the GFI was necessary looking back at it. I can understand why I did it. I was trying to make some security here, but no, it was quite necessary, to be honest. I needed this piece down. There was no 2 ways about that, but well, it failed anyway, so doesn't make a difference now. Spilled milk and all. Well, I'm happy to report that having taken a break from playing and recording, basically, I feel a lot better actually watching this game than I did playing it. This game wasn't so bad. I mean, fallenglory was trying really hard to console me for things that really weren't that bad. I mean, overall, to be honest, I haven't even played that badly. I was expecting to see a lot worse than what I've actually done. Some plays that really didn't make any sense. But I can actually see the logic behind everything I've done, so interesting. I played this game off the back of a really busy week though, my marriage week, and I was absolutely exhausted even when I started this game, so there is that. That's why I'm doing things like taking 1 dies when I don't need to. Blitz, and then what? Okay, just securing the ball. I guess I'm looking for a 2-1 at least at the moment. I want to score within 2 turns, but dodging out the Hobgoblin, I'm not really entirely sure why. I'm sure there was a reason for it, but I don't know what it is looking at it. In fact, I don't understand that at all. Let's have a quick look. Why the hell did I dodge out the Hobgoblin? Where could he have gone? 1, 2, 3, 4... He could have gone here, I guess. I guess that was the idea. But then where does Minnow go? Minnow goes here. He can't. Then we go here. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing there. But anyway, it failed. So, onto the humans team. Onto the humans turn, that's what I wanted to say. And the ogre is boneheaded once more. Now the hobgoblin could have got the ball and passed actually. Maybe that was the idea. It was risky though. Risky and unnecessary move. What's that? That's a pal. Pushing me onto the ball, it puts it into a worse position, I think, than where it was before. I guess the hope was that it would scatter this way and the thrower could go get it, but alas, the ball's gone into a worse position. Though I think the blitz is still going to try and get a pass out of that area. That's a reroll. It's a pretty hard pickup though. Oh, he succeeded. And dodging, fair enough. And that's good enough. That's good enough to make it 3-0, I think. We can get this blocker there, but that's all we can really do. Not if we're... Awful. Should have taken the block here and moved this piece over. Don't know what happened there. That was poor play. I guess I'm at the stage where I'm trying to get the game done, to be honest, but it means I'm making some really stupid plays as a result. Like that. Yeah, awful. Would be much better moving this blocker out. Don't know why the hell I didn't. That was pretty straightforward. Ball goes down and stopped him for at least one turn. But alas, Fallenglory can now stall until the end, because there's nothing I can do to get there. And the ogre's back awake. He's been hitting this bull centaur all game, but the bull centaur refuses to stay down. So well done to both bull centaurs for taking all these punches. Hobgoblin, on the other hand, takes a stun. It's pretty difficult to commentate on a game that I don't really understand what I'm doing in, to be honest. I'm watching this and trying to think from my own state of mind at the time, and also, you know, relatively decent play, but it's very difficult to comment as a result. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do every turn. And Fallenglory is doing the kind of thing that he does often. He's been doing this a lot this game actually. Now it doesn't matter of course because the ball is well out of the way, but he does this a lot. He puts a lot of players into a central position, which means that they work in perfect harmony, but sometimes they can get stuck out of position. And it doesn't affect him at the moment of course because the ball is down here. But there have been times in the game I haven't really mentioned where it has been potentially troubling, though it hasn't come back to bite him anyway, so it's fine. And it took the foul because I simply cannot get to the ball, so I'm just trying to do some damage basically to give me a better chance of getting that run. Score back at the end. It kind of looks like that was a foul out of frustration, but there was actually thinking behind it, because I'm a player down now, and I want to be even numbers. But it didn't work, so I gotta hope to do some damage here, and it's impossible for me to score without a riot anyway. And that's not a riot, but at least the weather is nice. So we're just gonna try and do some damage in this last turn. Well, there's some, but it's not SPP damage. Now we'll go for the pass as well. I think this piece, yeah, is one away from leveling, so he's going to be doing the pass. I do have the one solid hobgoblin though, this one. He's doing very well actually. Quite happy with this hobgoblin. Yeah, you can laugh. It's a good pickup. It's a good pass. Hey, level up. There we go. And what are we going to do with the ball? Why are we doing anything with the ball? We're going to put the ball into a position where it's difficult for Fallenglory to capitalize on, but we fail the catch anyway, so there we go. The ball is in the... Well, the humans can't do anything anyway. So I don't even know why I bother trying that. Just because, I guess. Maybe I lost track of the numbers as well, actually, it's possible. I may have lost track of the turn I was on, because that doesn't make sense otherwise. Maybe fallenglory has too, because he's put the ogre on the ball. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. We're just doing things, the two of us. Yes, for example, now there's no need to... there we go. We're going to have a pass. That's going to be the last action of the game. There we go. Well played, fallenglory. Well done, and good luck to you going forward, because of course you're going into the playoffs now. I think you're at the top of the league, if not Yasinde, one of you. Anyway, so we got 3 touchdowns, 4 passes, 6 arm breaks for the humans, and Blitzer with guard levels up. That's good news. And on the Chaos Dwarf side, 1 pass, 8 arm breaks, and Arieg, the new Chaos Dwarf, levels up. It's always good when the Russian levels up. That's a lot of SPP. That's 16, 21, 22, and that's 10. Fair enough. So that's the end of the season for the Chaos Dwarfs, with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses. And we'll have a look at the team at the very end of the season as well, instead of looking at what's leveled up. I think the only level up anyway was this Hobgoblin who got plus movement. Gives him a small chance of 1-turn touchdowning. That's basically it. And in general makes him more of a threat, to be honest, so I'm quite happy with my 2 Hobgoblins at the moment. Though this team will from now on be in wood, of course, they won't be competing. So, Theseus manages to finish the season 1 touchdown away, and he has a guard Minotaur. We have a sidestep Bull Centaur. I still prefer the sidestep to the dodge. I kind of prefer him being in the way as opposed to staying on his feet. I find it quite useful in that last match. And we have a guard, a Mighty Blow Chaos Dwarf. We have this Hobgoblin with minus movement and a niggle. I may keep him around for now, there's no real reason to get rid of him, but I will eventually get rid of him, of course. And we have Glob with Kick Block. Glob is probably the star player at the moment. That's it for Labyrinthians then. In the other games I played, there were 2 more games, well there are 3 more games in ICBBL, but one of them you've already seen. The 2 games that weren't part of the Tutor League, we had... Why am I going this way? I don't know. Ah, the Chaos Dwarfs in here. The Chaos, sorry, here. So Prince of Hell played their first match in Bronze. They managed to have a 0-0 draw against Chaos Dwarfs. So there we go, the Bullshit Boys. It was a very close game, to be honest, and the only 2 injuries in the game were both Minotaurs. My Minotaur and his Minotaur were both injured. Mine got missed next game. His unfortunately got minus armor value, apoed into death, so his Minotaur is minus AV now. Otherwise, the Chaos team is exactly the same as it was before the match. I don't think we got anything even close to leveling. I think one of these 2 was the MVP, the only one that wasn't MVP before. And other than that, nothing new to report there. So it was a pretty... Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, Growl got MVP. And it was a pretty SPP light match, as you can see. I don't think there was any advance on the Chaos Dwarf side either, but I might be wrong. I don't entirely remember. And then the Dark Elves of Steel. That's why I went this way, because it's quicker. The Eclipses had their first game against Svahos. The Bullshit Boys was led by Zetsevs, by the way, the Chaos Dwarfs. And Svahos Skaven took on my Dark Elves, and the Dark Elves won the match 2-0. It was a bit of a slaughter, actually, on both sides. There was lots of armor breaks, and we actually lost a lineman in the game. And the SPP was a bit nicer, and both of us got a level up. We got the Thrower, who managed to pass and also got MVP. And we had 2 touchdowns from the same Blitzer, if I remember rightly. So one of my Blitzers leveled up, and he's of course been given dodge. Still a Blitzer down, and I'm now a lineman down as well, though I don't mind taking on a Loner. And I'm 10 away from buying the Apothecary, unfortunately, but that is, of course, the first purchase. So that's it for the Dark Elves at the moment. And that's it for this week, so thank you very much for watching. That's the end of Luck of the Dice for me. There's still going to be the playoff. We'll try and catch at least one of the playoff games, probably the final. Though I may have a look at some of the quarters or the semis as well, see how it goes. that's all for me this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.